Welcome back. In this step, we will want to help you get quickly started with the course. The first thing I would want to do is to congratulate you on making a great choice. Now, let's get down to getting started with the course. The first thing you would need to do is to bookmark the GitHub repository of the course. You'll find a link to it in the resources section of the video you're watching right now. You just have to hover over to the left top corner of the screen and you should see resources and a link to the repository. Just click it, launch the GitHub repository and bookmark the URL. The repository contains links to all the installation guides we use, step-by-step details of the course, and also the source code. Also present is the source code at various intervals of the course. For example, let's pick up one of these files from here. You'd see that this complete backup is present as one single file. This acts as a reference if you face a problem during this course. If you're having a problem with the map method and you are unable to work out the syntax, all that you need to do is to go to one of the backups and find out how it's done. You just need to search for todos.map and you'll be able to find how it should be done. The first sections of the course focus extensively on React. The tools that you would need for that section are NPM and Visual Studio Code. If you go to the home page of the GitHub repository and search for installation guides, you'd see a playlist which will help you to install Node.js and Visual Studio Code. This playlist contains 3 steps: installing Node.js and NPM, a quick introduction to NPM, as well as installing Visual Studio Code. You can install Java, Eclipse, and the embedded Maven in Eclipse when we get to the Spring Boot section of the course a little later. For now, we would recommend that you would pause the video in here and install Node.js and Visual Studio Code. You can use this playlist, watch it, and install those 2 tools. If you have successfully installed the Node.js and Visual Studio Code, you're ready to rock the React world. If you're a Java developer looking at front-end code for the first time, the first few steps can be overwhelming. You'll be using a new language, you'll be using a new IDE, Visual Studio Code, and you'll be using a new framework, React. And we'll be using something called Create React App, which is a new tool. The first few steps contain a little bit of theory to introduce you to the various parts of developing modern JavaScript applications. Once you get to the second section of the course, you will be spending 95% of the time getting your hands dirty. The recommended approach to follow the course is to take the steps one at a time. Do them in the order they are present in the course. We'll talk about the remaining sections of the course when we get to them. Let's get started with understanding the application architecture in the next step. Until then, bye-bye. Welcome back. I'm excited to help you learn full stack application development with React and Spring Boot, and I'm sure you are as excited as I am. In this step, let's discuss the high-level architecture of the application we are going to build in this course. Let's start with understanding the basic functionality of the application that we are going to build. We are going to build a to-do management application. Everybody has things that they want to do, they want to learn. You want to learn how to develop a full stack application with React. You can manage all of them in this to-do management application. You can add a to-do, you can delete a to-do, and also update a to-do as well. Other than that, we'll also have the authentication features, typically the login and logout capabilities. Let's now shift our attention towards the architecture of the application that we are going to develop. What we are going to develop is a full stack application. When we talk about a full stack application, we are talking about a front-end application which is talking to a back-end API or a REST web service. We are going to use React to build the front-end part. React is a front-end view framework and it makes it easy to develop front-end applications. We would be using modern JavaScript. If you're not familiar with modern JavaScript, that's not a problem at all. We would make sure that you are sufficiently introduced to the modern JavaScript concepts before we would use them in the course. To build the RESTful API or RESTful services in the backend, we'll be using Spring Boot framework. We'll be using Java as the programming language. Spring Boot is the #1 Java framework to build RESTful APIs and microservices. We'll create multiple RESTful services for authentication as well as to-do management. As far as authentication is concerned, we will start with basic authentication and also discuss about how you can use JWTs or JSON Web Tokens for authentication. We will use the Spring Security Framework to build authentication around all the API that we are going to build. Before we move on to the next step, let's discuss an important question. We are talking about building full stack applications. Why should you really build a full stack application? Why should you create a separate backend, a separate front end? There's a lot of complexity associated with this. You need multiple languages, you need multiple frameworks like Spring Boot, React. You need to learn all of that. Why should you really do that? The answer to that question is that you don't want to create a flexible architecture, an architecture which can be extended to meet your future needs. Let's imagine you'd want to develop a native mobile application in future. Let's say an iPhone app or an Android application. Maybe you'd want to connect your application to Internet of Things devices, IoT devices. In such kind of situations, we can reuse the exposed backend API. The full stack application with a separate backend API or the RESTful API will give us more options to extend our architecture and create different applications for different devices. In this quick step, we looked at the architecture of the application that we are going to create. We create a React front-end app talking to a RESTful backend API built on top of Spring Boot. We also discussed why we build full stack applications. I'll see you in the next step. Until then, bye-bye. Welcome back. In the first few steps of this course, for almost an hour and a half, we would be focusing on the React application. We would want to understand the basic concepts of React. Most importantly, how do you build components with React? In this step, let's start with creating a simple React application. How do you create a React application? Create React app. If you do a Google for Create React App, you'd land up on the Create React App homepage. This is a GitHub repository, and you'd see that Create React App is used to set up a modern web application by running one command. Basically, what it helps us to do is to create a simple React application just by running one simple command. What is that command? Just scroll down a little. And here it is. So if you execute a command which is similar to this, Create React App would create the basic setup of a React application. Actually, it would create an application which is good enough to take to production as is. To be able to use the Create React App, we would need Node and NPM. Let's launch up our terminal or command prompt. If you are on Mac, it's terminal. If you are on any other operating system like Windows, for example, you have to launch up the command prompt. Just type in terminal and you'd be able to launch up the terminal window. If you're on Windows, you might want to launch up the command prompt in this way. Press Ctrl Escape, launch up the start menu, type in CMD, click the command prompt, and it would open up for you. Now, once your terminal or command prompt is opened, all that you need to do is type in node --version. So important to note, there are two hyphens in here, right? So it's node --version. So once you have a version which is greater than 10, that's cool. You can also type in npm-version to find out which npm version you have. If either node doesn't work for you or the npm doesn't work for you, make sure that you check the installation guide, which we looked at earlier in the course. The command we need to execute to create the React app is npx create-react-app and the name of your application. So the way we can do that is npx create react app space the name of the application. The name of the application I would want to use is to-do app. But before that, what we would need to do?
we need to move to the folder where we would want to create this particular application, right? So let's cd to the folder where you would want to create that application. I want to create it in this folder, so I'm doing a cd to in 28 minutes git full stack with React and Spring Boot frontend, and over here I can execute the npx command. Npx create React app space to do app. Once you execute this command, you'd see that this would take a little bit of time because this would create the project and also build it. So the project is created, now it's trying to build it. It's trying to install a few dependencies, React, React DOM, and React scripts, and also their transitive dependencies. So all the things that React DOM needs to work, all the things that React needs to work, and all the things that React scripts need to work. If you have a problem at this stage, and if you are not seeing a project being built like this, or if you get a permissions error, then one of the things you can do is you can try and launch up the command prompt as an administrator. So over here, once you press Control Escape, launch up the command prompt and open up command prompt. Over here, if you right click on the command prompt, you can do a run as administrator. If you are on Mac or Linux, you can try sudo. So instead of trying npx create React app to do app, you can try doing sudo space npx create React app to do app. The other useful thing to do is to Google for create React app troubleshooting. This would take you to a GitHub page, which facebook.github.io. So once you click that, you can see a few other things you can try. Now you'd see that the installation is going on right now. It might take a few minutes, especially if you're running it for the first time. And after the whole thing is done, you'd see that it lists the different commands that you can run. The great thing is now the entire application is set up. So if you open up that specific folder, so if I do present working directory, this is the folder where the project is created. So if I go to the front end, there is a to-do app folder where all the content is created. The entire project is created in this specific folder. There are a number of commands which the create React app enables. You can do npm test to run the unit tests which are present in the project. You can do npm run build to create a production deployable. Whenever we write JavaScript code in modern JavaScript applications, we would create hundreds of JavaScript files, and it's not efficient in production to have hundreds of JavaScript files. So what npm run build does is it merges everything into a compressed set of JavaScript files which you can then use for production. All these features are actually built into the application which is created by using the create React app. The thing which we'd want to do now is to launch up the application. Let's do that right now. So the way you can launch up the application is by saying npm start. So it's the command which is present in here, npm start. So when you press npm start, oops, there's an error. It says I cannot find a package.json file. Okay, cool. Let me check the present working directory and the ls or dir in Windows. You'd see that I am still in the front end folder. To be able to run the npm start command, I would need to cd into the to-do app folder. So let's do a cd into the to-do app folder, and now let's go ahead and run npm start, and this would kick off the launch of the project. So you can see that the project starts up and launches it in the browser as well. This might take a little while. The page is still loading, and you'd see that it's showing the URLs on the console. So if you want to launch it in Chrome, you can take this URL and launch it in Chrome. Most probably it would have been automatically launched up in your default browser, but if it has not launched up in your default browser, then you can take this URL and execute it, preferably in Chrome, because that's the browser we would be using for the most part in this course. Congratulations! In this step, we created a React application. All that we needed to do was to execute a command npx, create React app, and give the name of the application. The application was created, and after that, we just needed to do npm start to launch that application up. And we were able to see the application in the browser. Right now, we don't really understand what's happening in the background, and that's what we would be looking at in the subsequent steps. Until the next step, bye-bye. Welcome back. In the previous step, we launched up our first React app in the browser. Isn't that cool? Let's take a step further in this particular step. Let's try and make a small change to this React app and see how to get that change rendered in the browser. What we'll do is we will use Visual Studio Code as the IDE, and let's now launch the application in Visual Studio Code. During the installation guide section of this course, you would have already installed Visual Studio Code. When you launch a Visual Studio Code, this is what you would see. You'd see that we have actually worked on a number of projects recently to make sure that this course is perfect. The other things that you would see in here are help and the learn stuff. I would recommend you to spend some time with the learn stuff to familiarize yourself with the Visual Studio Code IDE. There are a lot of things that you can customize with this IDE as well. Now, we would want to open up our project in Visual Studio Code. There are two ways you can do that. One is open folder. So once you click open folder, you can navigate to the folder where your project is and you can open it. The other option is drag and drop. So I've created to-do app in this specific folder. I can drag it and directly drop it in here. Once you drop the folder in there, Visual Studio Code would open up that particular project. You can see the different folders from that specific project and other files which are present in there as well. Now, let's pick up one of these files, package.json. Let's not worry about what the content of this file is for now. Now, I would want to see this in full screen. How can I do that? The way you can do that is by toggling the Explorer bar or by using a Control B or a Command B. This is very important because whenever you are working on a file, you would want to actually work in full screen mode. And that's the reason why we wanted to cover it up as the first thing that we teach as part of our IDE. Control B or Command B is the shortcut to actually maximize this window. The other thing you can do is also to toggle the Explorer bar. So whatever you are seeing in here is called the Explorer bar, where you can actually navigate through all the files, folders, and everything related to your project. There are a lot of other features which are present in Visual Studio Code. You can search for a file. You can look at your source control. I mean, if we actually put it in a Git repository or something, you can actually check which files are committed, which are not, all that stuff in source control in here. You can debug, as well as there are a number of extensions you can add on top of Visual Studio Code. You can check all that stuff on the left hand side bar which is present in here. For now, let's not worry about all of them. Let's focus on actually learning React. Now that we have the application open up in the IDE, let's make a couple of changes. I'll open up the source folder and the public folder. The public folder has something called index.html, which is actually the page which is loaded up when we type in localhost 3000 in the browser. This index.html contains a title element. You can see that the title is React app in here. Let's make a small change. Let's call this to-do application, or even further, you can call this my to-do application. You'd see that the change is immediately reflected on the browser. Right? So the title comes from index.html. That's what we understood right now. The app.js is where all the rest of the content of the page is coming from. So inside the source, there's a file called app.js, and this contains all the stuff you are seeing in here. So you can see that there's a logo which is being put, and it says edit source app.js on save to reload. So what I'll do is now I'll remove all this content which is present in here. Let's remove the header which is present in here, and let's save it. Let's see if the change reflects. Yep, the change reflects immediately. Now to make it easy, I'll say my hello world and save it. Now you'd see that the change is reflected in the browser. Now what's the magic that is happening? How is that the change in index.html is getting reflected, app.js is getting reflected? All that magic is happening because of the Create React app. When we build the application with Create React app and we start it using npm start, automatically it would keep scanning your code for changes. So as soon as a code change happens, it is automatically built and it is rendered to the browser. In this step, we imported the project into our IDE, Visual Studio Code, and we also made a couple of modifications to it and saw that they were immediately rendered in the browser. In the next step, we would start looking at the individual folders and the different files which are present in here. I'll see you in the next step. Until then, bye-bye.